Worked here about 8.5 years. I started off as assistant brewer, worked for a year and a half, and then took over as head brewer, and I've been head brewer almost 7 years now. Ellicott Mills has been here 15 years. We mostly focus on German-style beers, a lot of German-style lagers and Bock beers.
We don't ever go to chains, so we're kind of anti-chain restaurant. So we'd rather support local business and all that, so that's what we like about this place.
Make a lot of accessible beers, beers that aren't really high in alcohol, that aren't like really bitter or hoppy. They pair well with food. You know, if you have a 9 or a 10% alcohol beer, you can't really have more than one if you're planning on driving home. So we try to make beers that are more milder in alcohol, you know, flavorful but not overpowering. It's a little large for a brew pub to start with, and it's set up to do a style of brewing that's called decoction brewing. You draw a lot more out of the grain. It caramelizes it a little bit. It's an old-fashioned process. We're making an American-style beer today, so we're using American hops that are grown in the Pacific Northwest. You take all your grain and you mix it with hot water, and what we're doing is we're converting all the starch in the grain into sugar, and then we'll extract that sugar water out and boil that and turn it into beer. So what you do is basically you mix all the grain with hot water, and the steam just sort of heats the whole bottom nice and evenly. Instead of having like a direct fire, it doesn't really scorch or burn the beer. It'll only bring it up to boiling or so. So it just really kind of heats it really nice and gently. And then at the same time, we're agitating so that we're turning it around so that we get the starch molecules and the enzyme molecules basically to come in contact with each other. That noise is the agitator spinning, it's turning that mash, and that's going to convert all the starch that's in the grain into sugar. So we start off at one temperature, let it rest, raise it up to another temperature, let it rest. Do that 3 times or 4 times. And each time we do that, we're activating a different enzyme. So this is called the runoff. All the liquid that's in here, we recirculated it. We let it basically build up its own filter bed. It's running clear now. We're going to start running it from here back into the kettle. After we run off a little bit into here, what I'm going to start doing is spraying hot water over top of the grain inside the lauter tun. And that's called sparging. And it'll basically just, the hot water is just going to run through the grain, wash all that sugar and stuff out. It's all going to flow into the kettle. When the kettle's full, we'll boil it, we'll put the hops in. We'll boil for probably an hour, and then we'll knock it out into the whirlpool, and then set it downstairs into the fermenter. It's very fresh because it's made right here, you know. It's unpasteurized, it's unfiltered, it's really sort of, you know, raw product right from the brewery. It's not really an over-packaged or like a highly processed, you know, product.
It's really good, actually.
I guess pretty much our most popular beer is the Märzen, which is an amber lager.
Oktoberfest is my favorite, so I love all the decorations, Oktoberfest. Yeah, the Märzen's delicious.
The employees like the Dunkel, by far, that's their favorite. And then we do a lot of seasonal beers that we bring out, you know, at a certain time. Like we have the pumpkin beer on now, which people love, and they start asking for that around July. And I like making good beer. I mean, at the end, the idea is to see the customers enjoy it. You know, they're the ones that really let you know whether you're making a good product or not. If the beer's bad, it won't sell. You know, when I get done working, I'll usually sit down and have a beer, and I can sit there and watch other people drink the beer that I pretty much just got made making, which makes it pretty cool to just kind of hang out and talk to people about that.